everyone, I'm Taryn. I'm going to be doing classic Harley Quinn's makeup today. You can find more on Nerd-O-Rama You'll also see Sarcastic Stark, which is my fiance, Carlos. We have Orlando Harley Quinn, which is me. And then we have Blue Magnolia cosplay. And there you'll find where we do a lot of our props and things like that. So let's get started. I already did a video once and I had to wash everything off because I forgot a couple of things, and then I also said a lot, and I just thought about Robin on How I Met Your Mother, where she said but all the time. So if I say that, please turn this into a drinking game every time I say Okay, so let's get started. So I'm a big proponent. I've already done this, but I use witch hazel all over my face before I put on any makeup. And then this is barrier spray. You can find it. We have a FX store here, so that's where I get a lot of my stuff. But this, you can get some form of this online. I'm a big proponent of Amazon. You can find anything there. There's Ben Nye. I almost said Bill Nye. There's Bill Nye. He does, he's got a lot of theatrical makeup. I know they have a barrier spray. If you have a local FX store, you'll just have to type it in and kind of search, not your Halloween makeup, but you should be able to find it there. The white I don't use a cream base only because I'm very oily, so the transfer, you would always have to worry about, you know, if you touch something or touch someone. This is Pro Air. It's an alcohol base, so it dries immediately. It will kind of make your eyes water, but it's really good. So what I do is I have a bowl here. I got this at IKEA, I think. You just shake it up, and you're going to use like a little sponge. I got these at Ulta, but I think you can get them anywhere. So what I do is I just pour just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way with this, and you'll notice that you're going to have to do a couple of layers. That's just how it is. And I kind of do the wiping method, I guess, first, just to get that base layer. That way you can kind of get full coverage. And then I go back once this dries. And what's the word I'm looking for? Don't freak out at first that it's not going to be perfect, because, you know, when it comes to movies and stuff like that, they have a ton of touch up and, you know, all of this stuff. So just do the best you can, really. Your eyes will start to water like mine are right now. You don't have to go on your eyelid. I made that mistake the first time I did this, and sorry. You're going to end up having a mask on anyway, so it's not really imperative that you do that. Nor do you have to go in the hairline, because unless you're doing, you're not doing her jester hat. But even so, if you're opting for the wig, I mean, even if you have blonde hair, like for me, I would still buy a wig, just because it adds more volume to the hair. It all depends on the look that you're going for. So let's see. And it will dry in your little cup here, as you can see. But that's okay. This is just the first layer. So just so you guys know, it will get all over you. There's really nothing you can do about that. And the only way to get this off is Dawn, like the dish soap. But like I said, there is absolutely no transfer, which if you're like me and you wore this for 14 hours, it's very nice. Whew, you get high from the fumes. Just FYI. Okay. After you do the first layer, the best thing to do is then go back and do what I'm doing now, kind of like the blotting. It helps fill in a lot of those areas that are still see-through. Now, if you have very dry skin and you want to use a cream, I would still do the same, where you do your first layer. That you can either use, you can use a sponge like I'm using if you're using the cream, or you can do a brush. It's really what you're most comfortable with. I'm very impatient, so I like these better. Got something sticking to me. This is what is going to take the longest time, is making sure that the white is even. Sorry, I keep having to move because the lighting here isn't the best. Sometimes you'll find that it will kind of pick up where you've already put stuff down, which can be relatively annoying. It's just one of those things where, even though I'm not a patient person, patience is key. Now you're going to want to make sure that you get in the creases of your nose. I may have to do another layer. It will get in your eyes and it will make you tear up, but once it dries, you're fine. And you'll notice that your face is getting really tight. You'll just have to remember that after you take this off, you know, you're going to want to take care of your skin. Let's try this. We'll do a third layer. I always feel like I'm Edward Scissorhands when he meets the mom and she's trying to cover up his scars when I do this. You know, she says blending is the secret. Although I doubt that she would do something like this. So as you can see, you're just layering and layering. See, I don't like how that is really blotchy. Let's try this. You don't really have to worry about the eyes too much, only because we're going to be covering that up with black. Okay. All right. So the eyes are, or the face is done. Now, I just like to treat this as a any sort of beauty makeup. So this I think I got it at like a Halloween store when I did Harley Quinn's Suicide Squad, because she doesn't have the cake on there like this does. And this is more so to help when you're doing the black on the eyes, because you will have dust from the eye makeup that comes off, and that can just smear and it just won't look that pretty. So I do this really around the eyes, and you'll notice that, and I kind of freaked out the first time this happened, is that it's gonna start to crack here once we start to add the black. And once I put on my mask, that really didn't matter. So don't get too frustrated if that happens. Then I got this, I believe at Ulta as well. It's called Snowflake. It's just kind of an iridescent, has a little bit of sparkle, nothing too outrageous. I just feel that you want to kind of add dynamic into your makeup. Because if you're anything like me, you want to embody the character. That's kind of one reason why I love cosplay so much, is I have a theater background, and it's just fun to get all dressed up and to just have fun with the character. So that's really all you need. Now, when you go to do the mask, this is the mask that I use. And it had strings on it, but I cut those off because we're going to use an adhesive. And the reason why you don't really have to worry about your eyebrows or anything is because you're going to, oh, it's still got stuff on it. You're going to set it up on your face. So it's going to end up just, see. So that's why we're just going to do the black there. And I am a big, big fan of Krylon makeup. It's one of my favorites. This palette is just it's kind of a gray black. And then I used this when I did Black Cat for her eye makeup. I actually drew in her mask, which I might do. I think that might be one of my next ones. Is just I'll draw in the mask for you, and maybe I'll do Black Cat's makeup, because that's another beauty makeup. Okay, so with this, you're kind of gonna go all Uncle Fester, where you just have the big black. And that's okay, because once we do that, this is just adding to the mask portion itself. So and you will see some cracking, but like I said, that's okay, because it's all going to be hidden under the mask. A lot of this is just for your eyelid itself, but I'll show you how I go back and I keep measuring where the mask is going to go and how it will look. Because once you glue that mask down, it's not coming off, which is fantastic. Okay. This is an e.l.f. I think I paid like $1.50 for it. It's got black and kind of like a gunmetal, so you just kind of want to go as black as you can. You can sort of add, they have in this one, I don't know if you can see it, this right here, it's got a little sparkle. I always try to think of how my character, if she were in real life, how would her makeup be? And Harley is a fun character. And so, like when I made her hammer, which is another video I'm gonna do, I kind of added elements that I thought would be a classic Harley sort of element. Okay, so let's see. Let me put that here. So as you can see, I still have to do all of that down there, even if I move it up. Yeah, okay. You can see it, the, you just kind of want to cake it on there. Um, do this. All right, let's see now. Perfect. Okay. I think I want to do a little bit more on my eyelids. Only because I can sort of see holes and spots. All right. Okay. So you will have a little bit of those, like the powder that falls right here. That's another reason for the face powder, only because it helps get rid of that without ruining your makeup. Now, the next that you want to do is you're going to use this kind of as your blush. I always like kind of like the film noir beauty makeup sort of look, and so that's kind of what I went for when I did this, is because you still want to be pretty, and it adds dimension to the makeup, which I find very important. You don't just want plain white face with a mask on. That's no fun. And don't just get as much as you can and put it on there. It is kind of a labor of love where you just have to keep going back and forth and back and forth, only because you don't want a big spot of black, because then it won't look like blush. It won't have the same effect. And I start with the black, and then once I kind of do that, then I'll go back in with the gray, the middle one here, just to kind of fill the holes so it's not as dark. And you just keep and keep on. Just sort of treat it like normal blush, except for Harley. All right. Now, let's see. I still like to do eyeliner and things like that, even though you're not going to see it as much. It's just sort of a tick of mine. This is CoverGirl's, what is it? Line Exact. I am obsessed with this. I will go to many different stores just to hunt it down and find it. All you have to do is shake it up, and it's got a little tip on there. Let's see how good I can do. I mean, like I said, you're not really going to see it. It's just sort of a tick I have of making sure that I have eyeliner on. It does add a bit of dimension. I think that's the important thing about makeup, is that it's a bunch of little things all together that kind of embody the look of the character and everything. So I always make sure I do the little tiny things, because nobody else is really going to notice it, but they'll notice it if it's not there. If that makes any sense. And then the trusty, always there for you black eyeliner. This, I think, is also Wet n Wild. I got it for like $1. So, and it just broke. Let's try this again. I guess you get what you pay for when it comes for $1, huh? Okay. You're gonna use the black eyeliner pencil. You can use it on your eye, but we also use it, I use it for my lips. All right, before I do the lips, I'm just gonna do some mascara. Now, I don't really use false eyelashes. I mix a bunch of different mascaras together. This again, Wet n Wild. I have so much makeup that I only spend the necessary money on things that I think are really important. As far as mascara goes and things like that, if I can get it for a deal, I will. Just because I have so much makeup. So you just do that. And then this is NYC. I like it because it'll give the big curl. Okay. Now again, this is something that little things like that people will notice when they come up and take pictures with you that kind of add to the character itself. Now next is our lips. Like I said, I use this. And you're just gonna do it like a lip liner. It doesn't have to be perfect. And this, I like eyeliner, especially for black, because again, very little transfer and it stays, which that's the last thing you want to be doing in a con is reapplying every 5 seconds, which I have to sharpen this again. Now you don't have to fill it all the way in either. Because the white also helps keep everything kind of sticking together. And then I did kind of play around with the idea of doing like an ombre lip because she has black lips most of the time, but sometimes people do depict her with red lips, and I thought, well, it would be fun to kind of do both. But as you can see, my Harleys in the back, they all have black lips, and I just kind of stick with it because that's the tried and true. Now this, I don't know if you can see it, it's Smashbox, which I know can be relatively expensive. I actually found this, I want to say, for like $7 on Amazon. Amazon Prime, you can get everything. You would think I work for them by how much I plug them. But this is called Black Tide, and it's a, you can't really see it, like it's really not that thick, but with the black eyeliner, it just, I like it because it matches my cosplay, kind of the look of the material, and that's just kind of a nerdism for me. I love for things to look glossy if they're supposed to look glossy. Like her outfit has that shine to it, and that's how I wanted my lips to look, so that's why I got this. You just put that all the way around. Now you're going to take your barrier spray again, sorry, my hair is really crazy. Shake it up, do the same. Let it dry. Now, when it comes to the mask, you kind of just want to make sure that you have, see how the blush just kind of adds to the whole look of it, which is what I love. So what we're gonna do is, where is it? Okay, so this is an acrylic adhesive. I got this at our FX store here in Orlando. But if you watch, what's that show? Face Off, it's the same stuff that they use to put on the different face masks and different things like that. So all you really need, you don't need a lot of it. If you have sensitive skin, I will warn you now that it does irritate the skin a little bit. But the same with the makeup, the alcohol-based makeup. For me, I put it on, I wore it 14 hours, no transfer, like I said, amazing. But then when I got home and I was taking everything off, and you have to use a special adhesive remover, it was very dry all the way around here, and I had like a little tiny scab right there, but it's nothing to deter me from ever doing it again. Obviously, I'm doing it right now. So you're just gonna take a Q-tip, and like you don't really need that much, and it's just gonna go, ooh, it's dripping. And I'll show you once I'm done. As you can see, it does, I mean, it'll stick. There's no doubting that. You just need to do a thin layer, and it will, as you're doing this, it will get tacky, which is fine because it's going to take it a good 3 to 5 minutes for it to dry on your face. But once it's there, there's no worry about it coming off, I assure you. We had our con a couple weeks ago, and, well, no, it was last week, the end of May. And of course, it's already 98 degrees here in Florida. Didn't have to worry about my makeup running off my face, the sweat, there's none of that. And for any avid con goers, you know that parking is ridiculous. So we did a lot of walking. So you're just gonna do it all the way around, and it's, like I said, it's okay if it gets tacky. And then you're just going to put it on like so. And you're gonna have to hold it because you want it to stick like they do in the cartoons, or else there's really no point. I'm an avid proponent of, if you're gonna do a cosplay, you need to do it well. Don't half-ass. I would rather just go in jeans and a t-shirt instead of have a crappy cosplay. To me, that's just, it's embarrassing. So you're gonna have to hold it, and I think the morning of the con, I like stood in front of a fan to help, because the biggest parts are gonna be here where your eyes curve. You're gonna have to hold it, and then right there. You're also the bridge of your nose. But once it's on, it's not coming off. And so you don't really have to worry about that. Now I did get a little, and it'll just come off. I then, just because I'm a type A personality and I want to make sure that everything is perfect, I just go back in to make sure that it works. And you're just going to have to keep pushing these down. I think the whole drive over there, I was paranoid about it, but they never came off. Never once. So that, in essence, is Harley's makeup. Now, I have my jester hat that I use. So I'm going to have to take my hair down a little bit. Now, this won't be pretty, ladies and gentlemen, but Okay. So then you just want to, but see, nothing came off. You didn't have to, I didn't have to worry about anything. So you just want to fix it. And you can sort of see my hair in the back, but it zips. And so once you zip this and everything, you're good to go. Like, I would suggest a wig cap, only because if you're like me and have a ton of hair, then it's just going to be, that was my source of contingency throughout the whole con, was my little tiny hairs kept wanting to pop through. But, and that is it. And there's your Harley. Hi, Puddins. Oh, one quick thing before, like I said, this is the adhesive remover. And I just use a cotton ball, and you kind of just pull up the sides here, and you're going to have to dab and dab, and it'll eventually come off. So I hope you guys come back. I'm going to do Harley's hammer, and then a couple other things. But if you guys want to see me do any sort of cosplay, any sort of makeup, or there's some sort of prop that you want made, let us know. That way I can kind of plan and get everything together, and then I can do a video on it. So any cosplays you want, any makeups you want, don't forget to check us out at Nerd-O-Rama Network TV, and I hope to see y'all later. Bye.